ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Oh Allah, give us good in this world, good in the hereafter, and save us from the punishment of fire. Amen. Assalamu alaikum, ahlan wa sahlan. You all are welcome back. Today we have a great topic to discuss, and this is simply the different types of sentences we have. We have two types of sentences in the Arabic language. The first one, we call it الجملة الإسمية, which in the English language simply means the nominal sentence. We also have الجملة الفعلية, which means verbal sentence. From the name alone, you can already think what these two could mean. The first one, nominal sentence, الجملة الإسمية, simply means any sentence which begins with a noun. Finish. And الجملة الفعلية, verbal sentence, means any verb, any sentence which begins with a verb. Now, these two are further categorized because the first one has the different types of words which begins it, and these words could still be called nouns. And the second also has the different types, and this we are going to discuss so extensively today, inshallah, so that even as a beginner you would understand this topic very well. Now, for the al-jumlatul ismiya, under it we have sentences which come with ismun sarih. We have already said that the nominal sentence are sentences which begins with a noun. The first category of this is the one which begins with a plain noun. What are plain nouns? Example of this is the word Muhammadun. Like when I say Muhammadun talibun, Muhammad is a student. The word Muhammadun is beginning the sentence and it is a plain noun. The word huwa also, which is a pronoun, in the Arabic language it is also categorized as a noun. So, and this is also a plain noun. Like when I say huwa talibun, he is a student. So the word there is beginning the sentence. That makes it a nominal ismun, jumlatun ismiya. And the other example is when the word also begins with the word hadha. Like when I say hadha talibun, this is a student. The word hadha is a plain noun. Can you see? Now, some other times the sentence could also begin with what we call masdarun muawwalun. That is a sentence which begins with a verb which comes after the word and this we call it interpretative infinitive. Normally, we are going to give a lot of examples to clarify this. In the Quran, Allah says that our antasumu khairun lakum, and that you fast is better for you. The word antasumu, that you fast, you could simply say, and your fasting is better for you, meaning suyamukum khairun lakum or sawmukum khairun lakum. So the word suyamukum or sawm means what? Masdar. That is the infinitive form. So, but we use Allah uses antasumu to represent this. So you're going to get to understand this better. Sometimes a sentence could also be named as a nominal or ismun, a jumlatun ismiya, a nominal sentence, when the sentence has what? Al-huruful mushabbaha bil-fi'l. When the sentence begins with particles which look like verbs. An example of these particles is the word inna. And the akhawatu inna, the sisters of inna, like ka'anna, lakinna, later, la'alla, and the rest of them. So these, whenever they begin a sentence, those sentences are also termed as nominal sentences. An example is when I say inna allaha ghafurun rahim. Inna is the particle there and it is beginning the sentence, so that is termed as a nominal sentence. In this topic, we are also going to be discussing the types of verbal sentence that we have. Among these is that the verbal sentence could come with a verb which we name as al-fi'lu tam, a complete verb. And it could also be with an incomplete verb. An example of a complete verb, before then, what is a complete verb? A complete verb is a verb which requires a doer, that is a performer of an action, a fa'il. An example is when I say ذهب Muhammad. Muhammad went. So Muhammad is mentioned there. The word ذهب is considered to be a complete verb. However, an incomplete verb is a verb which requires both a noun and also a predicate. An example is the word kana. Like when I say kana Muhammadun aliman, Muhammad was a scholar. So the word kana is coming before Muhammad, which is a noun, and aliman, which is also a predicate. Can you see the difference? So this we shall be learning as we open and dive into this topic fully. Hope you are ready. If you are, sit back and sip your water. Let's move into this business. Marhaban. Now we can see we are still using our book Durusul Lughat al-Arabiyyah, which we call the Medina Arabic course, and now we are on lesson 10. Before we dive into the detailed explanation of this topic, we have a very short passage to read. From this passage, you already have an idea of the sentences which are mentioned here. Let's see. The first sentence begins, it says, Ronnal Jarasu. The bell rang. What type of sentence is this? Is this a nominal sentence or a verbal sentence? What type of sentence is that? MashaAllah, that is a verbal sentence because Ronnal Jarasu. The bell rang. Now, وَبَدَأَتِ الْحِصَّةُ الْخَامِسَةِ. And the fifth period began. What type of sentence is this? A verbal sentence because the word bada. Then we have marrat ashru daqa'iqa aw akthar. 10 minutes passed by or even more. وَلَمْ يَأْتِ الْمُدَرِّسُ. And the teacher has not come or did not come. سَئِمَ الطُّلَّابُ الْإِنْتِظَارِ. The students became bored of waiting. They became tired of waiting. Sa'ima. It is a verb. وَطَفِقُوا يَتَحَرَّكُونَ مِنْ أَمَاكِنِهِمْ وَيَعْبَثُونَ. And they began to move from their places and wander. They began to move from their places and they were wandering, walking up and down aimlessly. فَبَعْضُهُمْ وَقَفَ يَخْطُبُ. Some of them stood discussing. وَبَعْضُهُمْ جَعَلَ يَكْتُبُ عَلَى السَّبُورَةِ. While some of them also began writing on the board. دَخَلَ الْمُرَاقِبُ فَجْأَةً وَقَالَ. The muraqib, the watchdog of the school, that is the watcher, the controller of the school, he came around and said, مَا هَذَا. What is this? أَمْرُكُمْ فَوْضَى. Your matter is in disarray. You people are in disarray, in disarrangement, you are disorganized. Ka'anna al-fasla sukun. You can see the word ka'anna. This shows that this sentence is a nominal sentence because ka'anna is among the sisters or subordinates of inna. So it beginning this sentence means that sentence is a nominal sentence. Ka'anna al-fasla sukun. As if the class is a marketplace. Isma'u, listen you all. Inna mudarrisakum maridun. Indeed, your teacher is sick. Inna mudarrisakum. Inna is coming. That shows that the sentence is a nominal sentence. Falam yahduri liyawm. And he did not come today. Fayumkinukum adh-dhahabu ila al-maktabati. You can go to the library. Awil insirafu ila al-mahadi. Or you can disperse to the hostels and dormitories. An tadhhabu ila al-maktabati khairul lakum. For you to go to the library is better for you. You can see antadhabu, like Allah says, wa anta sumu. So antadhabu, that you go to the library, khairul lakum. So this is what we call masdar mu'awwal, meaning an infinitive verb, what you call pattern, which is changed to a verb coming after an. So normally it will just be what? Antadhabu will just be dhahabukum. You're going to the library, it's better for you. So dhahabukum, you're going to the library, it's better for you. So it is said in this way, antadhabu. So this shows that this is a nominal sentence. He says, kharajna min mabna al-marhadi. We went out from the structure of the institute structure. كانت الساعة الثانية عشرة والنصف. The time was 10:30. رأى بعض زملائي أن نعود مدرسنا المريض. Some of my colleagues thought or suggested that we visit the teacher who is sick. فقلت لهم, and I said to them, ليس الوقت مناسبا للعيادة. The time is not right for visitation. سنعود بعد صلاة العصر إن شاء الله. We shall visit after the Asr prayer, Allah willing. They said, الرأي رأيك. The opinion is your opinion, meaning you have the correct opinion. You can see this is a very short exercise, and from this passage and from this you have learned and already have a clue of what we mean by nominal and verbal sentence. We have a short exercise for you to solve before we forge ahead. The first one says, Ajib anil as'ilatil atiya. Answer the following questions. What are the questions? Number one says, Lima lam yahduril mudarrisu. Why was the teacher not present? You say, Li'annahu maridun. Because he was sick. Do you understand? Man alladhi samaha lit-tulab bil-insraf. Who permitted the students to disperse? You say, Samaha lahum bil-insraf. Samaha lahum al-muraqib. The insraf, the muraqib, is the one who permitted them. And last question says, Kam kanat as-sa'atu indama kharaju min mabna al-mahadi. What was the time when they left the school premises or the institute premises? We say kanat as-sa'atu ashrata wa nisf. The time was 10 athaniyata ashrata wa nisf. That is 12:30. MashaAllah. Now we are coming back to explain the topic in details. It says, الجملة إما اسمية وإما فعلية. A sentence is either nominal or verbal, as I've told you earlier. فالجملة الإسمية هي التي صدرها. And the nominal sentence is the one which begins with what? Number one, اسم صريح, a plain verb, a plain noun. A noun, a nominal sentence is the one which begins with number one, a plain noun. An example is Allahu Ghafurun. Allah is all forgiving. The word Allah is a plain noun, so we all know. Hadhihi madrasatun. This is a school. The word hadhihi is also a plain noun. Ana mujtahidun. I'm hard working. The word I there is also a plain noun. The other way we can know a Jumlatun Ismiya is that Masdarun Mu'awwal. It begins with a Masdarun Mu'awwal, which I already told you means interpretative infinitive. So here we have Allah saying in the Quran, Wa antasumu khairul lakum, and that you fast is better for you. So antasumu taqdiruhu siyamukum. The word antasumu means what? Siyamukum. You're fasting. Wa antasumu khairul lakum, that you fast is better for you. If you also say siyamukum khairul lakum, your fasting is better for you, they are all meaning the same. The other way we know, the other thing a nominal sentence can begin with is harufun mushabbahun bil fi'l. When a sentence begins with a particle which looks like a verb. An example is Inna Allaha ghafurur rahim. Indeed, Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. So the word inna there is a particle which looks like a verb. So now under here we have al-ahruful mushabbahatu bil fi'l. Verbs or particles which look like a verb are inna wa akhawatu, and the subordinates of inna, and this we have discussed in the previous episode, link placed above. You can watch it to understand inna and also its sisters or its subordinates and how they are being used. Coming to here we have wal jumlatul fi'liyatu hiya allati sadruha. And the verbal sentence now, it is a sentence which begins with fi'lun tamun, that is a complete verb. What is a complete verb? Example is Tola'ati Shams, so the sun rose. So Tola'ati is a complete verb. Or Failun Nakisun, an incomplete verb. An example is Kana al-Jawu baridan, the weather was cold. So the word Kana there is an incomplete verb. He says Al-Af'alun Naqisa here. The incomplete verbs are Kana wa akhawatuha, Kana and his subordinates or sisters. To understand what Kana and subordinates do and what they are, Click on the link above to watch it and understand everything about Kana and his sisters. Under here we have Al-Jumla, the sentence now, categorized to two: Al-Jumla al-Ismiya, nominal sentence, Al-Jumla al-Fi'liya, verbal sentence. Let's look at both of them. Now, we have number one, Allahu Ghafurun. These are under Al-Jumla al-Ismiya, the nominal sentence. Example number one is Allahu Ghafurun. Allah is all forgiving. That is, Allah is a plain noun. But we have antasumu khairul lakum. This is also a nominal sentence because it begins with masdarun awwal. And lastly, we have inna Allah ghafurur rahim. Indeed, Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. So this is beginning with harfun mushabbahun bil fi'l, mashallah. While under jumlatul fi'liya, that is the verbal sentence, you can see tala'ati shamsu, the sun rose, because tala'a is fi'lun tammun, and we have kana al-jawu baridan, the weather was cold. So kana is fi'lun naqisun, an incomplete verb. And lastly, we have wa kana Allah ghafurur rahim, and Allah is most forgiving, all merciful. Can you see this very well? Now we have exercises to solve. The first one says istakhrij ma fi ad-darsi min al-jumal al-ismiyya wa ayyin naw as-sadri fi kulli wahidatin minha. You are to go back to the short passage we had read and bring out all nominal sentences and explain which type of verb noun begin them. Let me quickly give an example. The first example I can see here as a nominal sentence is the sentence where it says ba'duhum waqafa yaktubu. Ba'duhum waqafa yaktubu. You can see this is what ba'duhum. This is ismu sarih, and you can check and see the other examples which we have here. Another example is amurukum fawda. This is masdar. This one begins with a masdar. Then we have ka'anna al-fasla sukun. This is also the one which begins with fi'l harfu mushabbahun bil fi'l. You can go through it and bring out all of them. Number two says istakhrij ma fi ad-darsi min al-jumal al-fi'liyya wa ayyin naw as-sadri fi kulli wahidatin minha. Go back to this passage and bring out all of the verbal sentences you can see and explain the type of beginning which they have. The first one, you have ranna al-jarasu. Ranna, this is a fi'lun tamun. Bada'at is also a fi'lun tamun. Marrat, a fi'lun tamun. Then, but when you have the word in when you have the word kana, here kanat sa'atu, you see that this is a fi'lun naqisun, mashallah. Go through the passage and bring out all of the verbal sentences and explain the type of beginning which they have. Exercise number 3, we have حول المصادر الواردة في الجمل الآتية إلى مصادر مؤولة. All of this masdar, that is infinitive form of verbs that we have here, you are to change them to masdar mu'awwal, that we have told you, meaning bring a verb to represent them and the verb should come after an. The first one we have بقاؤكم هنا في العطلة أحسن لك. Your staying here in this holiday is better for you. So you have what? And tabqa huna fil utlati ahsanu lak. For you to stay here in this, that you stay here in the holiday is better for you. You can see I've changed baqauka with what? And tabqa. Number 4, we have sakanuna fil mahjai afdalu lana. Our staying in the hostel is better for us. Living in the hostel is better for us. So you can say an-naskuna fil mahjayi afdalu lana. That we stay in the hostel is better for us. G, we have qala mudarrisul khatti. The writing teacher said, kitabatukum nisfa safhatin bi khattin jamilin ahabbu ilayya min kitabatikum safhatin bi khattin radi. Your writing half a page with a good handwriting is more beloved to me than for you to write pages with bad or blur handwriting. So you can change this and say أن تكتبوا نصف صفحة بخط جميل أحب إلي. That you write half a page with a good and clear handwriting is more beloved to me. Min kitabatikum, min an taktubu, that you write pages بخط ردي, with a blur and bad handwriting. Can you see? We have been able to do this. Number 4, we have ما تقدير المصدر المؤول في قوله تعالى في سورة البقرة. What is the infinitive form of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, where He says وَأَن تَعْفُوا أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى, and that your pardon is closer to piety. So you can say وَأَفْعُكُمْ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى, and your pardoning is closer to piety. Can you see? That is very easy. So afu, mashallah. Number 5, we have هاتي ثلاثة أمثلة للجملة الإسمية صدرها أحرف مشبهة بالفعل. You are to bring 3 sentences. These 3 sentences, at the beginning of them, they should have a particle which look like a verb, and this should be a nominal sentence. And you know particles which look like a verb. Example of them is inna, ka'anna, lakinna. So an example I can say inna Muhammadan ja'i'un. Muhammad is indeed hungry. Next I can say ka'anna Muhammadun, or ka'anna Hamidun Asad. Ka'anna Hamidan Asadun, as if Hamid is a lion. Next I can say ra'aytu Muhammadan lakinna Hamidan Ghaibun. I saw Muhammad, but Hamid. Okay, no, since I'm going to read Lakinna to start, I can say Lakinna Hamidan Ghaibun, but Hamid is present. Number 6, we have هاتي ثلاثة أمثلة للجملة الفعلية صدرها أفعال تامة. You are to bring an example of verbal sentences. These verbal sentences should begin with a complete verb. First, I can say Ja'a Aliyun, Ali came. Second, I can say Akalat Fatima, to Fatima ate. Last, I can say Jarate Tiflatu, the baby ran. Very easy. And number 7, we have Hati Thalathata Jumlat al-Fi'liya Sadruha Af'alun Naqisa. You are to bring 3 sentences. Each of them should be verbal sentence, and they should begin with an incomplete verb. Incomplete verbs will begin with kana and the subordinates of kana. An example, I can first of all say kana Aliyun qadiman. Ali was coming. Among the other sisters of kana is kana. Then we also have Laysa. I can say Laysa Muhammadun Jai, and Muhammad was not hungry. Among the other sisters of that is Sara Aliyun Mujtahidan, which means Ali becomes hardworking. With this, we come to the end of this lesson, and when next we meet, we shall complete the remaining little part, inshallah. We want to make this in a different section because we have a lot of discussion about it. And until then, jazakumullahu khairan, wassalamu alaikum.